Are you staring at a blank high school plan wondering where on earth to start? The curriculum options are endless. The stakes feel higher, and suddenly, homeschooling seems 10 times harder. I get it. I've stood exactly where you are now. If we haven't met, I'm Kim with Not Consume Ministries. After 22 years of homeschooling and graduating 2.99 kids, because I have a senior this year, today I want to encourage you. High school isn't as scary as it seems. In fact, these were our favorite years. In this video, I'm sharing all of my best tips and tricks for high school, from curriculum to schedules. These are things that actually worked for our family. No overwhelm included. You in? Let's clear this path together. Let's start with some of the big questions. How many hours do you homeschool a day? Before we can answer this question, it's important to remember why we homeschool. Is the goal to raise Mensa scholars or Harvard grads? Are academics at the top of your priority list? For us, academics are just one piece of the puzzle. I'm also training my kids to grow emotionally, spiritually, and physically. We keep academics where they belong, taking only 1/4 of the priority. Traditional schools give academics 100% of the priority, so their day might look a little different than mine. Make sense? So for high school, it typically takes my kids 3 to 5 hours to complete the books and paper part of their high school curriculum. This largely depends on the child and their goals. The more rigorous goals might require more time, while the senior with nearly all of their credits done and a solid apprenticeship might only have curriculum about 1 or 2 hours a day. Aside from curriculum, our days are filled with activities to help kids create, gain wisdom, and explore opportunities like jobs, volunteering, and the arts. I consider this school as well. It's working on the other 3 priorities, and it's just as important as the academic side of things. Also at home, your high schooler is able to focus on the material at his or her level or pace. So it typically takes much less time to get everything done than it would in a traditional school setting. So don't be concerned about hitting some 8-hour study mark. Remember that a lot of those hours in school are spent in transitions, getting into lines, doing lunch, having assemblies, those kinds of things. In fact, I'd say if homeschool is taking longer than 5 hours a day, you might want to reassess the level and workload of your students. It's possible that you're putting the focus on the wrong goals. Again, this doesn't mean that your child is finished learning in 4 to 5 hours a day and will waste the rest of the day vegging into the land of no knowledge. If you encourage enriching activities and limit screen time, your child will literally never stop learning. So what should your child be learning in high school? High school is such a fun time for students. By this age, they've typically discovered their individual areas of interest, and some subjects are going to stand out above others. As long as their reading and math foundations have been laid, let them back off on things that aren't strengths and dig deeper into subjects that they're passionate about. Note that I didn't say you could skip those harder subjects, only that it may not be necessary to take the most advanced courses in those areas. Let me give you an example. My oldest daughter was strong in language, so we backed off on the super advanced math and instead took some advanced writing and even foreign language classes. This was perfect for her career goals. When her sister got to high school, she focused her final 2 years on a dual enrollment program in dramatic production. As a result, she graduated from high school and college at the same time. Now my son worked ahead and finished all but 1 credit by the end of his junior year. Because of this, he was able to spend his whole senior year touring with Logos Theater, performing The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. He's been building sets, performing, and even has created some pretty amazing puppetry. On his off days, he's been testing out our new practical writing course, fulfilling that final English credit. I'm going to tell you more about that later. As you can see, high school is the perfect time to dabble in career options. You can explore ideas, shadow careers, take courses that will deepen that knowledge. Don't wait until college for this, because you might find that you'd rather take a different path instead. Better to learn now than when you're halfway done with expensive college credits, right? Unlike the earlier homeschooling years, most states do have specific requirements for high school. I'm going to mention some typical requirements, but it's very important that you look up your state requirements. The most reputable place to find these laws is the HSLDA website. Note that I didn't say to ask a friend who's been homeschooling for many years. That's a big mistake. Look them up yourself. I'm always shocked at how many people are operating on false info that other people told them, or worse, that they assumed because they were copying the schools. If your child has their heart set on a specific career or career path, it's best to find out what the requirements would be. That way you're covered no matter what. Again, the only way to know that, though, is to check the website yourself. Most states require the following: 4 credits in English, 4 credits in math, 3 credits in social sciences, 3 credits in science, 1 PE or health credit, 1 computer science credit, and electives. The credits your child takes really depend on the goals of your student. As homeschoolers, we have the freedom to teach the way our kids need us to teach them. I love that this helps them reach their goals even faster. So let's break these subjects down. First, science. Most states require 3 science credits, but note that it's not specific like biology, chemistry, and physics. These are actually a suggestion. Read carefully to see what is truly a requirement and then tailor your plans accordingly. If your child plans to go to college, you'll want to see which specific sciences are recommended for their program or their degree. Do the work and look it up. You might be surprised at what's required and what's actually not even listed. Here's what my kids did. Leah did biology, astronomy, anatomy, and equine science. Rachel took biology, chemistry, and astronomy. Nathan took astronomy, biology, and physics, and Luke is currently taking astronomy. While high school does become more restrictive, now is not the time to lose your creativity. You still have options. First, you might consider taking a course at your local co-op so you can take advantage of the lab element. Unless, of course, you like dissecting things in your living room. Seriously, a co-op is a great option, but not everyone has that opportunity. Other options include dual enrollment at a local college and online courses. Our favorite science curriculum is Journey Academy. My friends Trisha and Luke have put together fabulous, engaging, interesting online courses that you can watch on your own time. They have astronomy, biology, chemistry, and physics. Students watch lectures, complete assignments, and even take quizzes. It's a great way to get excellent teaching, independent curriculum, and a strong biblical worldview all in one. This quickly became a favorite for my family, especially the astronomy, which I'm sure you noticed was a theme when I listed out what they took. Rachel, my art-loving child, took a DVD course called Biology 101. It's actually pretty inexpensive and a little bit old school. She watched the video lectures and kept a journal with all the things that she was learning. It's definitely on the light side, but for a child with strengths outside of the typical academic courses, it can be a really great fit. Whatever you pick for science, remember to consider first your child's academic needs and not to squash them with curriculum that will frustrate their efforts, particularly if reading is a struggle. Science is one of those easy subjects that allow you to pull back on the textbook format because there are other options to explore. All right, math. Most states require 4 math credits, and you typically see Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2. Often people will take trig or pre-calculus or even calculus. But note that most states don't actually detail which math classes are required. I know that's shocking. We've used a lot of different math curricula over the years, but by the time we got to high school, there was a clear winner. All of my kids have used the same thing all the way through. Once they're old enough, my kids always transition to teaching textbooks. They love that the computer teaches the lesson for them and that there aren't 500 problems to answer when the lesson is finished. As a mom, and especially at the high school level, I love the instant grading feature. This makes my homeschool day a lot easier, but also it's better for my kids because it gives them immediate feedback when a problem is incorrect. So often students will do the whole page wrong, only to learn that they have to start again, practicing all those wrong things. Teaching textbooks doesn't allow that to happen. Algebra 1 and 2 plus geometry will be required on the ACT or SAT if your child is college bound. Since I want my kids to have options in their life, we take those 3 using teaching textbooks. I know you might have heard that teaching textbooks isn't good enough. Well, I'm here to tell you it's just fine. Leah not only got into college, she had a full ride based on her ACT scores. So don't believe the rumors. They'll be fine in teaching textbooks. It might not be best for those who are particularly mathematically inclined or looking for a STEM career, but for everyone else, it's going to be great. In their senior year, all of my kids take consumer math. Consumer math embraces the outside of the box spirit of homeschooling. It teaches math skills for real life, like how to budget, calculate income tax, and understand savings and investing. Even better, it fulfills 1 high school math credit. It's a curriculum designed to set your student up for success by giving them opportunities to actually practice using math skills in real-world scenarios. One final thought. If math really is more than you can handle as a homeschool parent, rest assured you can always outsource it to a co-op or an online class. Juniors and seniors may even consider taking a dual credit class at the local college. History. Most states require 3 history credits. American history, government economics, and one more history course. I actually find that a lot of states do specify this. But of course, you can do them in any order or style. Remember to look up your state though and see what's specifically required. All three of my kids took American history, world history, and then a government economics course. We used a variety of options to get there though. These are the ones that top the list. Mystery of History. It's a 4-volume comprehensive journey through all of time, focusing on a biblical worldview, which I think is really, really important. The awesome thing about this history curriculum is it's very flexible. You can use it for all ages and make it a family affair if you really want to. During high school, you can go deeper with the lessons and the tests that are included. You may also supplement with novels and extra suggested reading. Rachel enjoyed doing the audio CDs that were available. This way, she didn't have the hurdle of having to read the text. Mystery of History also has an option for online classes and lectures for those looking for alternative ways for study. The cycle of history can be repeated even if you've done it before. Since the student is much older, the knowledge is much deeper when you cycle back. Masterbooks has a great biblically sound curriculum for high schoolers looking for that economics and government credit. I find that it's not overwhelming with the reading and it's not super intense. But don't think that their American history is the same. We find it's much more difficult than the government and economics course. Okay, let's get to language arts. For most states, 4 English credits are going to be required for high school. Usually, these are not specific either. This English credit is truly a combination of all of the other earlier elements that you did, like reading, spelling, grammar, and writing. But you don't need separate curriculum pieces for all of these things. In fact, if you had that, I think your child would struggle to keep up. There's a lot going on in high school, so don't make it any harder than it already is. Like I said, you may find that your state has no specifics at all on what type of English you need to take. Ours literally has no rules. So Leah took British Lit, American Lit, General Lit, and Creative Writing. Rachel and Nathan took American Lit, General Lit, and Creative Writing, and practical writing. For American, British, and General Lit, my kids have used their reading journal. It's designed to give your kids the freedom to choose the books that they enjoy while still growing their literacy, comprehension, and analytical skills. The reading journal is an absolute favorite in our homeschool. To make it a specific type of literature focus, we just select books from that genre. You can check book lists online too if you're not sure where to go with that. Both Nathan and Rachel read books related to plays that they were doing, which made it even more fun. For creative writing, the kids used In Your Own Words. It's the perfect resource for both your budding writer and your reluctant student. This journal examines traditional forms of poetry and prose, pointing out literary devices and characteristics of each form while maintaining an enjoyable and practical atmosphere. You can take it at any point in your child's high school years to fulfill one of your high school credits, but we like it in the 11th grade. As my kids got older, I really wanted them to take a practical writing course, and so, In Other Words, was born. This course is like the consumer math of the English world. Kids learn to write a resume, a cover letter, professional emails, and even product reviews. It's a great option for a high school senior looking to build those life skills needed after graduation. I'll be honest, Leah's jealous that she didn't get to take it like her siblings have. Bible curriculum. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned that spiritual growth is a huge priority in our home. In fact, it's an equal priority with academics. What we want most for our kids is a lasting faith that changes them from the inside out. They need the academic part to help them read the Bible. In order to help them grow in faith, kids need to spend time in the Word. I'm looking for Bible studies that are designed to help teens get into the Word for themselves and learn the life-changing truths that they need to become more Christ-like. The Spiritual Discipline series and the Faithfulness series are both excellent choices for high schoolers. One series is perfect for a full year, earning 1 elective credit. These Bible studies couple theology you can trust with fun extras that the kids love. I think that's a win-win. High school electives. Yay, we're finally to my favorite part. First, we have to meet all those pesky state requirements though. So be sure to find out what yours are and follow those guidelines. Most states require very little in this area, thankfully. Typically, it's a PE credit, maybe something with arts, and maybe a computer science credit. You may also need to meet the suggested college electives if your child is interested in college, such as a foreign language. I do find, though, a lot of colleges are not requiring that these days. So look it up. Remember, while you still have to meet requirements, though, you can think outside of the box. For example, a physical education class doesn't have to be the way the school system does it. Your child can take a swimming class at the Y, or a spinning class at the gym, or both. My oldest rode horses. You could also do health, wellness, or any traditional sport. If none of those works for your student, we have a simple option called Thrive. It fulfills that PE requirement while also laying a biblical foundation for health and wellness, not just how to play a sport. In this one credit course, Thrive teaches your students about the amazing body God has given them and inspires them to take care of it through healthy habits, nutrition, and exercise. Students will come away with practical strategies and activities to implement those concepts while building lifelong habits that can help them for many years to come. Now, some states do require a fine arts credit, but that doesn't have to be an instrument. It can be an appreciation class where you learn about different periods and styles of music and composers. Sounds of the Masters is a great option for that. No music knowledge is required for this, although it is fun for music lovers too. Plus, it's written from a biblical worldview you can trust. You can also mix it up and do art or drama for your fine arts credit. Computer requirements tend to be pretty easy. There are keyboarding classes, coding classes, and everything in between. We've used Typer Island to fine-tune typing skills. Nathan took some coding classes at the local college, so that might be an option for you too. Once you get the required things out of the way, you will still probably have some credits to fill in. This is your chance to have a lot of fun, but I would strongly suggest you steer your fun in the direction of your child's interests, particularly regarding a career. Spend time thinking about what they want to do when they graduate and let them explore it now, or have them take a class to help prepare them for it. I know a young man who spends every afternoon in the woodshed with his dad making cabinets. His elective? Woodworking. This is the perfect way to help your child dabble in a possible career choice so they don't waste $50K on a degree that they still don't know what to do with. Nathan spent a semester rebuilding an engine on a Mustang. Before he did that, he was considering a career as a mechanic. Now he has other plans. I'm so thankful that he got to dabble in that before wasting time and money going to school. If you still need some ideas, I have an ultimate list of high school electives for homeschoolers that I will link in the description for you. So we've talked about all of the subjects and all of the things, but you might be wondering how to document high school. Documenting is something most people feel very overwhelmed by. Don't let this be you. We've got this. Documenting is just a fancy word for keeping track of things. It doesn't have to be elaborate or complicated. So let's start with electives. You can literally just write down your hours in an hour log. A typical high school elective is 120 hours. We do that sometimes, but we most often use field study reports because I want to demonstrate the things that they do for credit. For example, whenever my kids are in a play, they document rehearsal and performance hours. They also note what they did or what they learned from it. We track this right in our student planner. Of course, you'll also want to document all of your courses and work study on your transcript. I can help with this too. If you'd like our free homeschool high school transcript template, I'll drop that link in the description. It's simple and customizable to help you track everything. If you found this video helpful, would you please share it with a friend? That would mean a lot to me. I'd also love for you to leave a comment and tell me what your favorite high school elective is. I know others will love to see your ideas, so let's share with each other. I'll see you next time.